The family of a Jessamine County baby police say was abused by a babysitter is now asking state lawmakers to help them make sure no other family has to deal with child abuse.
Adults were arrested and hundreds of teenagers sent home after police say they put an end to a party that involved at least 300 people both Friday and Saturday nights in Whitley County.
It's a common problem among many Central Kentucky school districts right now, how they're dealing with a shortage of bus drivers.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. She suffered serious injuries that police say her babysitter caused. Tonight, the family of a Jessamine County baby wants to make sure this doesn't happen to any other child.
They are pushing for a change in Kentucky law that will help families find babysitters who haven't broken laws. And a state lawmaker has now joined their effort. Sean Moody has our top story at 6.
That petition has already gotten some traction. State Representative Stan Lee said it makes sense to him. He said, as a father, it seems like a common sense approach.
It's been a process.
Lauren Sizemore's niece, Kylie, has been through a lot.
We didn't believe that she was going to make it.
Nicholasville police say Kylie's babysitter abused her. Her family says she suffered a skull fracture, brain damage, and broken ribs.
It was really hard for all of us to see her that way. This one is actually really touching too because her mother was able to finally hold her after not being able to hold her for over a week.
While Kylie's been recovering, Lauren's been trying to figure out how to prevent this kind of thing. She's created a petition to start a registry to track anyone convicted of child abuse.
Well, I can't imagine how I would feel.
State Representative Stan Lee says it makes sense.
And this registry, if we can get it passed, would help in that regard.
A state registry already exists to track child care facilities, but not individuals.
It's not really tailored for the parent who wants to call the cabinet and say, I want you to run a child abuse search on John Doe.
Lee is confident people would get behind the idea. Sizemore hopes to see it through.
Even if it saves one child, that would be awesome.
And Lee said the legislature could take action as early as the next General Assembly. In Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
The babysitter police say injured Kylie has been charged with criminal abuse. She has pled not guilty. Now to some breaking news out of Georgetown right now. In the last hour, we have learned a Georgetown College football player who was badly injured in a fall has died. The Fayette County Coroner's Office says 18-year-old Colson Mocklet died this afternoon at UK Hospital. Police say he fell in a fraternity house on the Georgetown campus over the weekend. Our Garrett Weimer joins us now live from Georgetown with the breaking details. Garrett?
Yeah, today was media day for the Georgetown football team here at Toyota Stadium Field, and it came with some sad news for the Georgetown College campus and the football team. Just a week and a half before the Tigers kick off their season here, the Fayette County coroner says Colson Mocklet died at UK Hospital from a traumatic brain injury after his fall early yesterday morning. Mocklet was a sophomore defensive lineman for the Tigers. Police say just after midnight Sunday morning, Mocklet tried to jump from a third-floor stairway to a second-floor landing inside the Lambda Chi Alpha house on Hollyhock Lane. They say he fell and hit his head. He'd been at UK Hospital ever since. Head coach Bill Cronin told us before official word of Mocklet's passing that it's a big loss for the team, and it's been a tough 48 hours.
Been a very difficult 48 hours for the Tiger football team and Tiger campus community, and we had a little vigil last night. Probably had 400 or 500 students in chapel. Very emotional. A lot of prayers.
Investigators say they suspect alcohol was involved. I'm told it's still an active investigation. A school spokesperson tells me they're saddened to hear about what happened, and they're thinking about and praying for his family. Live at Georgetown College, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. New tonight, Lexington police say that someone is trying to scam people over the telephone by claiming to be a police officer. They say the caller claims to be a Lexington police sergeant and tells the victim a family member has been involved in a traffic accident. Police say the caller then tells the victim to send money through Western Union to a New York attorney, or the family member will be taken to jail for endangerment or involuntary manslaughter. Lexington police say this is a scam, and they've received 2 complaints about it so far.
Tonight, 3 men face charges for a large party police say got out of hand. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office says up to 300 teenagers showed up to the party, and deputies say they found out many of them were drinking. As Phil Pendleton tells us, police tell us that party started again the following day.
On Friday night, police followed the large amount of traffic they saw on US 25 to this driveway on Cripple Creek Road. They found hundreds of teenagers and a few adults. They broke the party up and made some arrests, but on Saturday,
the next night, it was open again.
Sheriff Colin Harrell says both Friday and Saturday nights his deputies were called to the same farm on Cripple Creek Road, where hundreds of teenagers were either drinking or getting drunk. Some kids were from surrounding counties. He says locals called it the barn burner.
Says kids are going to be kids and they're going to learn, whether you like it or not. And it's better for them to be off the road on a farm somewhere if they're going to do this.
The police say the adults at the farm were letting underage kids drink, and on Saturday night, some were smoking marijuana. The property owner, 51-year-old Douglas Monroe Jones, was arrested. Tyler Jones and Dustin White were also charged.
There were some that was high. The parents was contacted. Those that were sober were permitted to drive, the other was home.
Several were arrested on the first night, but only charged with misdemeanors. Tyler Jones was arrested both nights. Dakota Duggar and Joshua Burge were also charged on Saturday.
Parents should know where their children are at.
Police say while 300 were at the party the first night, there were about 50 there the second. In Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The sheriff says state police and Williamsburg police helped with the case. He says the investigation is not over yet. Well, it has certainly been a wet summer across the Bluegrass so far, but we are finally catching a break, at least for a couple of days. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at the forecast. Chris?
Yeah, looking good out there, feeling even better for folks who are stepping outside and getting some of those high clouds to filter on in from the southwest. And that's really a sign of some changes that are lurking for the middle and latter part of the week. Beautiful sky cam. Those little ice crystal clouds that are way, way up there. If you're a sunset watcher, that means good news for you folks who are going to be out snapping some shots of the sun going down this evening. Gorgeous skies across the region. Through the 11 o'clock hour, we go from 75 pre-sunset quickly into the upper 60s. And then low and mid 60s coming your way by 11 o'clock. Cool temperatures with a little valley fog already beginning to settle in by the 11 o'clock hour. Hello, Defender Radar Network. You got nothing to show us locally. Let's see what we can find across the eastern part of the country. Notice the absence, unlike where we've been over the past few weeks, of a lot of clouds and a lot of rain across the Bluegrass state. They'll draw your attention to what's going on in the deep south. A little moisture beginning to pool there. That's going to lift its way onto the north and northeast in the coming days. You know what that means? That means after another nice night and another nice day tomorrow, we're going to steam it up and then storm it up as the thunderstorm threat pays a visit to the 7-day forecast. We've got a new hour by hour in. We'll look at it together when I come back in just a few minutes.
A new school year is now underway across Kentucky, but many school districts are dealing with a shortage in one important position. School leaders say they don't have enough school bus drivers. New at 6, Hillary Thornton tells us how they're dealing with the shortage and what they're doing to find those new drivers.
Around 6 o'clock each morning,
you got to be a morning person.
in the darkness before dawn,
If you're not a morning person, this won't be the job for you.
the job starting with making sure their bus is in running order, ready to safely transport loads of their community's future to school. As the sun starts rising, the men and women behind the wheels playing an important role for each student.
You're going to be the first person that they see of school district staff.
Marcus Dobbs knows firsthand, starting with Fayette County Public Schools 20 years ago, this daily routine of safety checks was his norm as a driver, now holding the title of Director of Transportation.
Right now I'm running 226 buses every day.
It is a big operation to oversee, one that comes with a lot of responsibility and one that at times certainly takes some teamwork.
Last year, just to pull it off during the last week, I had to drive 3 of those 5 days in order for us to get the kids home.
Back behind the wheel, making sure routes were covered due to a lack of drivers, a problem the district continuing to face.
It's been a trend that's been going up every year. It's been getting worse and worse.
Currently short 18 drivers.
I don't have enough drivers. I'm sorry, there's no way we can get the students to school.
Right now, a temporary bandage in place, doubling up some routes and using other personnel licensed and trained to drive. A fix for now, but one that Dobbs fears won't hold as the school year gets in full swing.
Because when people start taking their sick time, things of that nature, that puts us really in a bind.
The problem of empty driver's seats not just felt in Fayette County.
Yes, we're willing to work with just about any situation. We really need the drivers.
Madison County also short a few drivers, plus working around several out on medical leave.
Everyone that works here at the bus garage has their commercial driver's license and the ability to drive a bus. So we just start grabbing people and sending them out on routes, basically. The office staff goes and drives, the mechanics.
A temporary fix that's also being used over in Scott County.
It's frustrating for them because then they have work that they were supposed to do that they end up having to do at a later time as well.
Scott County able to fill needed driver positions, but going without any type of backup or relief drivers to cover those absences.
A lot of responsibility that comes with the position. Also, it's limited hours.
Hours being what directors feel is their main hurdle in filling these seats. Most districts starting pay for drivers somewhere around the $14 an hour mark with retirement and health insurance, but with those limited hours.
They'll have an elementary, then a high school, and then a middle school run, and that'll occupy the time period from about 6 to 9. Then they punch out. Then there's a 5-hour window. Then they come back in and repeat the same thing from 2 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon.
Well, most people need 8-hour positions, and it's very difficult many times to find a part-time job around those hours that they must be on a bus.
Timing of the day a big problem for many, but is a schedule they say they've found can work out well for others. A job that Dobbs knows as well as anyone, despite the early hours and long day, certainly has its benefits.
You gotta love kids. If you love kids, this is one of the best jobs you can have.
Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
And school leaders say they're accepting applications for bus drivers. Once people are hired, it takes about 3 or 4 weeks to get them ready to drive the school bus. School leaders say they'll go through training and work to receive a commercial driver's license.
Police think he is connected to textbook thefts at university campuses around the state. The latest in the case against a man arrested over the weekend next.
And then why Eastern Kentucky University may be dropping some academic majors and minors. Today, a man accused of stealing textbooks from university campuses around the state made his first court appearance.
University of Kentucky police arrested Anthony Shields over the weekend. They say he broke into at least 30 offices on the UK campus, but police caught him after they say he tried to sell stolen Western Kentucky University textbooks to a UK campus bookstore. Investigators say multiple agencies worked together on the case.
Morehead State University, we believe, had some video footage of this perpetrator in the act. And obviously the officers were all sharing that information.
Today, Shields pled not guilty to burglary and possession of burglary tools.
Facing some budget cuts from the state, Eastern Kentucky University may be dropping some academic majors and minors. According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, a budget review subcommittee has recommended French, journalism, theater, horticulture, and geography be suspended at EKU. University leaders say that each of those majors have had fewer students in recent years, but they say each will be reviewed to determine if they need to be cut or if they need more funding.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Sunshine galore across the area today. Humidity levels way down. We've got the pleasant temperatures too. Sure sounds a lot like September, huh? Well, it's a little early and it's only for a little preview. Then we're back to reality here in the coming days. Let's look outside, soak up our Monday evening. 9 live sky cams across all of central and eastern Kentucky, and each and every one with some sun and a little bit of high cloud cover. Getting in on a little more high cloud cover now in Lexington. I mentioned to soak up what we have now. If you don't, you get one more chance to do that tomorrow. Into the pleasant category on the muggy meter, and then by the time we hit Wednesday, and then especially Thursday, look out. It's going to feel rather tropical yet again across the bluegrass state. But the dry air that we have out there now means there is nothing for a change that I have to show you on your Defender radar network. hello and goodbye all in the same sentence. How do we roll into the day tomorrow? Similar fashion of what we've had out there today. 50s to start, little fog, mix of sun and clouds into the afternoon. Temperatures that should be into the low 80s into much of the area. So here's a breakdown of the next 3 days just to show you how the change does slowly work back in. Tomorrow, a few degrees warmer than today. We'll keep the mix of sun and some clouds. Now we go into Wednesday. You'll notice a little sweat on the brow if you're outside into the afternoon. Isolated shower, thunderstorm, humidity really going to fight back into the area. And then by Thursday, watch out for a couple of booming thunderstorms as that tropical feel does return to central and eastern Kentucky. So the humidity is really going to fight back again in the coming days. Here's that new hour-by-hour forecast for the evening upon us. By 11 o'clock, mainly clear skies, mid-60s. Early tomorrow morning, hello, trip into work and school with 50s. A nice little breath of fresh air again in the morning. Watch out for some fog, especially near the waterways and in those valleys. Tomorrow afternoon, again, we'll tack on a degree or two compared to what we had out there today. That'll set the stage for a little more in the way of some clouds on Wednesday. And this model, and it's only a computer model, but it is fairly optimistic on at least a scattered thunderstorm going up Wednesday afternoon with temperatures that will be back into the low and mid 80s for many of us. We'll see what that looks like at 11 o'clock tonight. I suspect it's trying to overdo the thunderstorm threat on Wednesday, but by the time we hit the second part of the week, the steam does return as high pressure anchors itself across the southeastern states. That puts Kentucky in that return flow coming out of the southwest. So we will haze it up a little bit. We're going to steam it up, and that daily threat for a thunderstorm will be back with us. It can get borderline hot on any one day that doesn't feature a shower or thunderstorm, with temperatures on a few days into the upper 80s. High humidity will make it feel toastier than that. And oh yeah, daily threat for a shower or thunderstorm kicking in Wednesday through Sunday.
Of course.
Yeah, and then from Sunday on, watch what goes on across the southeastern seaboard. If you're vacationing, planning a vacation next week to the Carolinas south into Florida, watch out. Could be a tropical system sometime next week.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Well, for the Cats, two-a-day practices come to an end.
They finished up today. Classes are starting Wednesday. The game preparation for Southern Mississippi will begin Thursday. Which freshmen can we expect to see on the field this fall? Stay with us. Sports is next. UK football will wrap up preseason camp this week and start getting ready for the season opener that is now less than 2 weeks away. The Cats held their final two-day practice sessions today, and they will begin game planning for Southern Mississippi Thursday. Mark Stoops has been encouraged throughout camp because his team has been able to take on a bigger workload.
You know, our team has been able to handle more. They've practiced hard. They've had great attention to detail. They're focused. You know, we're more mature. You know, physically we can handle more, and mentally we can handle more. And you put that together with some depth, and you know, you got a much better team.
And Stoops saying today that Cash Daniel, the freshman linebacker from Paintsville, is likely to play this season, and so is defensive end T.J. Carter out of Mableton, Georgia. Carter goes 6'4", 275 pounds. Our countdown is down to 12 days until the season kicks off. Randall Cobb averaged a UK single-season record 12 yards per play in 2010. Danny Trevathan averaged nearly 12 tackles per game in 2011. That led the SEC. And 12 was the cost in millions to build Commonwealth Stadium, which opened back in 1973. The alley that runs between Commonwealth Stadium and Nutter Fieldhouse is now named after Talbot Todd. It'll be called Talbot Todd Way. This is what it will look like, the new site for the catwalk. Todd played under Charlie Bradshaw back in the early and mid-60s. He's been a huge supporter of Kentucky football. He was diagnosed with ALS last year. Talbot said he was overwhelmed, humbled, and extremely proud of the honor. The UK women's basketball season still a little more than 2 months away, but today the team put its uniforms on for the first time for picture day. Quite a few new faces on the squad, only 10 players on the roster. Everyone appreciated it, having a great time it seemed. The UK women's team opens the season November 11th against Miami. It was media day for the Georgetown Tigers football team. Numbers are tremendously high for Bill Cronin, who begins his 20th season as head coach. A year ago, the Tigers started the season 0-4, then finished 6-0, down the stretch, missing the playoffs. Now, a year later, the Tigers are more experienced.
On both sides of the ball, we've got quite a few guys back from a year ago, and then we've added some maturity with some of the younger players growing up, and so it just makes for a little bit more depth in every position. We had to do some recruiting in the secondary because we lost
Ozzie Mann's back, quarterback. He was new into the system last year, and he's really comfortable with our guys now, really comfortable with the offense, and he's really picking up fast on this offense.
And Clark County has a new boys basketball coach. Josh Cook is coming in from Mercer County. Cook led the Titans to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 16 years. They went 33-2. He was named Courier-Journal Coach of the Year. So Josh Cook now at Clark County. Sam Ember, back to you.
Thank you, Rob. And a final check of your first alert forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, how a lab in Montana could help firefighters find ways to better fight forest fires.